is your table saw burning the wood and you think your blade needs sharpening? Well, pull the blade like I just did on my table saw and check to see how much pitch is built up on it. Okay, and this one needs cleaning. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna clean the blade. I'll go through the process with you, but I also wanna point out this. This is a brand new version of this blade. And I'm also gonna clean this too, because if we can get in here, cameraman, you'll see how it's kind of got a gummy substance. That's from the manufacturer, and that prevents it from rusting in the packaging. Before you put a blade on your saws, always clean them first. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go upstairs and get my wife's toothbrush, because this is what I'm gonna use to agitate the cleaner. Now, I've always used this. I've used other cleaners before, but this is readily available. It's Crud Cutter, and I just spray it on like this. It's non-toxic, and I'm gonna spray both sides, and I'll let it sit for just a few minutes. I let the cleaner clean, and that's so important. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna agitate it. I let it sit for about 5 minutes. And I'm gonna agitate it with this toothbrush. Okay, and I'm not gonna, you look, I'm even picking up like little strings off of there, but you'll see how it's, look at that, it just starts to break it up. And I'll do both sides. I'm not going hog wild on this, okay? Because that there needs extra cleaner. And then I'm gonna flip it over and agitate it some more. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spray it with more cleaner on both sides and let it set for another 5 minutes. Okay, so I let it set for another 5 minutes. But come in here, I want you to see this. You remember that black streak I had on there? You know what that is? That was probably some plastic built up on there. And I can tell you right now, that was probably a cause of the burning I was experiencing. And I'm in no rush to do this. I can even let it set for a while. But boy, this just cleans it really nice. And it's just a back and forth, but you see how it's coming off in strings. And it's probably plastic that adhered to that. I'm also gonna concentrate here on the front tooth, because that's where you get some pitch buildup. And you can see how these pieces of carbide here are really starting to shine. And you're gonna just see how that just breaks apart. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna wipe it off and do some inspecting. And I'm gonna make sure, I'm just gonna take my fingernail and scratch. That's not buildup at all. Neither is this or this, okay? That's just some etching of some sort. You're gonna see where it came out really clean, and that was just some discoloration of the plate. But it looks like I got everything cleaned off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it inside and wash it off. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just got back from inside, and I washed it off with some fresh water. And some of you may say, oh, you shouldn't do that to a saw blade, but be patient with me. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach for my Sharpie, and I'm gonna mark a tooth here so I know that I've rotated the entire blade. And what I'm gonna do, I know this seems overkill, but I wanna see if any of these carbide tips are chipped. And I'll just rotate it around and inspect each one. And on this one I have 32. And everything looks good. So if there's a chipped tooth, that could be a good sign, or it is a good sign that you've used it too much. Take it to the sharpener. Okay, but I've already inspected this one and this looks good. So the next thing I'm gonna do is we did a video on this. I love this stuff. It's from PB Blaster. Now it's just called Blaster. It's dry lube with Teflon, but the important thing, it's not made with silicones. So what I'll do is this protects the blade. And what I'll do is I'll just spray it like this. You don't have to overkill it, and you let it dry. Okay? And that's all it is. Making sure I hit those carbide teeth. Perfect. And then what I'll do after it's dried, you'll see it start to haze a little here. Okay, you'll start to see the haze, and then I'll buff it like this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this cut will be effortless. It helps you, if you periodically clean your blades, it helps you prolong the use of your blades between sharpenings. So, as we always say, be positive and stay sharp.